Ever pour your heart out asking for help only to get nothing? Well, today we're going to dig into a powerful and, yeah, let's face it, kind of cynical law of human interaction that explains exactly why that happens, and more importantly, what you can do about it. I mean, we've all been there, right? You ask for a favor, maybe you gently remind someone of that time you helped them out, and you just get crickets. So why does that happen so often? The answer is, well, it's a little uncomfortable, but it's buried deep in a simple truth about human nature. And if you can get your head around it, you'll understand how to actually get what you need. And here's the answer, Law 13. At its core, the idea is that gratitude, it's a pretty weak and temporary emotion. Think about it. It's just a reminder of a debt, an old obligation. But self-interest? Now that is a powerful forward-looking motivator. It's a lever that can literally move mountains. So the big takeaway here is this. Stop talking about the past and start talking about their future. All right, so to see just how badly this can go wrong, we're going to jump back to 14th century Italy. This is a story about betrayal, rebellion, and, a completely fatal misjudgment. So let's set the scene. You've got Castruccio Castracani, a brilliant but totally ruthless warlord. And then you have the Poggio family, who were actually a huge reason he got into power in the first place. But as Castruccio got more powerful, his memory of all that help, well, it started to get a little hazy. The Poggios felt completely betrayed, so they decided to do something about it. They rebelled. And this is where one terrible assumption just spirals into a total disaster. The rebellion kicks off, but this elder, Stefano, who's a pretty peaceful guy, he steps in to try and calm things down. He thinks reason will win. So he goes straight to Castruccio and basically lays it all out. Remember all the help we gave you, all those years? He begs for mercy. And Castruccio, he puts on a great show. He pretends to be understanding, thanks Stefano, and invites the entire family over to his palace to patch things up. Spoiler alert, it was a trap. And that was the last anyone ever heard from the Poggio family. Stefano's mistake here was, well, it was fatal. He honestly believed that things like justice and gratitude would actually work on a guy who built his entire empire on backstabbing and treachery. He completely forgot that when you ask someone to be grateful, you're really just reminding them of a debt. And for a guy like Castruccio, the easiest way to clear that debt wasn't to pay it back, it was to get rid of the creditor, to erase the Poggios from existence. And when someone later called him out for killing an old friend, Castruccio's reply was just ice cold. For him, the past meant nothing. The only thing that mattered was the threat right in front of him. He just said, I have executed not an old friend, but a new enemy. Chilling. Okay, so that was a complete and utter disaster. But what does it look like when someone gets this right? For that, we're going to head over to ancient Greece to see how this very same law can be used to build a powerful alliance when the stakes are just as high, if not higher. So picture this. It's just before the huge, devastating Peloponnesian War. You've got two rival city-states, Corcyra and Corinth, and they are about to go at it. Now, both of them desperately need Athens and its navy, which was by far the most powerful in the world at the time. Getting Athens on your side, that could mean the difference between winning and being wiped off the map. So both sides send their best speakers to Athens to make their case. Corinth goes first, and they do exactly what Stefano did. They appeal to the past. They give this big, emotional speech about their shared history, all the favors they'd done for Athens, you know the drill. Then Corcyra gets up to speak. And they don't mention the past once. They focus entirely on the future. They basically said, look, an alliance between our navy and your navy would create an absolutely unstoppable force. It serves your ambition to dominate. It was a pure, direct appeal to what Athens wanted for itself. And what happened? The result was a landslide. The Athenians were super pragmatic. They weren't interested in being reminded of old debts. They cared about one thing, future power. So naturally, they chose the clear, tangible benefit over the sappy, emotional plea. Okay, so we've seen a total failure and a huge success. Now let's get practical. How do you actually do this? Let's break down the playbook for decoding someone's self-interest so you can get what you need. You know, here's the biggest mistake, the trap we all fall into. We get so caught up in our own desires, our own needs, that we just assume other people should care. But they don't. You have to remember, they are the main character in their own movie. They've got their own goals, their own problems. To them, your needs are at best just background noise. So using this law requires a total mental flip. Step 1. For a minute, just forget about what you want. Seriously,
Step 2 is to get inside their head. What do they actually care about? What keeps them up at night? Is it money, status, power, beating their rival? Once you figure out their core motivation, then you can find the sweet spot, the overlap between what you need and what they want. And you frame your entire request around that benefit for them.
Okay, for maybe the most extreme example of this working, look at Yelu Chuchusai. He was an advisor to Genghis Khan. Now, Khan was literally about to wipe out northern China and turn it into grazing land for his horses. He just saw no use for it. Appealing to morality or the sanctity of life, that would have been a death sentence. But Chuchusai knew that Khan was driven by one thing above all else, wealth. So he made a simple, brilliant pitch. He said, don't kill the people, tax them. The river of gold you'll get from them is way more valuable than some pasture. Khan immediately saw the point. And just like that, millions of lives were saved. Not by mercy, but by a perfect appeal to pure, unadulterated greed.
Okay, but not everyone is Genghis Khan, right? Not every request has to be about cold, hard cash or power. The real mastery of this law comes from understanding its nuance. Because sometimes the most self-interested thing a person can do is look like a good person.
So, is that it? Is everyone just a ruthless warlord or a greedy conqueror? Of course not. And figuring out this exception, this reversal of the law, is really the key to mastering it.
See, for a certain type of person, their self-interest is all tangled up in their reputation. They crave being seen as noble, as generous, as merciful. For them, helping you isn't really about you. It's about how it makes them look. It's about getting to feel powerful and show off how charitable they are. So your strategy has to change completely. With this type of person, you don't offer them a business deal. Instead, you give them an opportunity, a stage really, to publicly show off their good heart. The real skill here is learning to read people. You have to figure out what actually makes them tick. Is it cold, hard gain, or is it that warm, fuzzy feeling of looking like a saint? Your appeal has to be tailored to their specific flavor of self-interest.
Okay, let's pull this all together. When you boil it down, this law is all about finding the right key to unlock someone's motivation. And almost every single time, that key is going to be their own self-interest, whatever that might look like for them.
There's this great quote from La Bruyere that just nails it. The point isn't to be sneaky or manipulative. It's to show people so clearly how helping you also helps them that it becomes the most logical choice they can make. You're basically engineering a win-win. So, I'll leave you with this question. The next time you have to ask for something really important, are you going to take the easy route and talk about the past and gratitude? Or are you going to do the hard work of getting inside their head and framing your request around their ambitions? The choice is yours, and, well, so are the results.